Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the SEO Hackers podcast. I am Scott Gombar, your host. My website is scottgombar.com. That's SEOTTGOMBAR.com. And of course, this podcast is the SEO Hackers podcast. And if you go to SEOHACKERZ.com, you can join the community where we talk about all of the SEO topics and tricks and hacks and all of the good stuff that'll help move your website up in the rankings on Google. We do this every week. I upload an episode every week. I am a little late this week. Life gets in the way sometimes, you know. So I started to share my screen so you could see what I'm looking at. And you'll see that Google has a new layout for Gmail, and some of you may have accepted it, and some of you may have not. I think you'll be forced into it sometime in the next month or two. So I've switched over on one account so I can get used to it. I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest. I'm really not a fan. I think it's kind of, I don't know, something about it I don't like. The one thing that's kind of annoying to me, and maybe I'll get used to it and it's a good thing, is this email here received 3 days ago a reply. So I've already had a phone conversation with Regina yesterday. So I didn't think to go back and reply. And so it was unread a minute ago, and I looked at it because I thought it was a new email. But it's not. It was 3 days old. And the reason I didn't reply is because I already talked to her on phone. So I don't know that I thought it was a new email. So that distracted me for a minute. I'm not a fan of the way it looks, and maybe if I do some customization. It was customized. I had my own image in the background. I don't know where that image went, but it's gone. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the next few days as I learn to customize it. But moving forward, in other SEO news, it looks like they've eliminated I turned it off anyway, but I think they've eliminated the social folder and the important. So there were generic folders, I guess you could say, or feeds, you could say, set up. And one was social. I don't even remember what they were because I disabled them. I didn't like that. So I think they're getting rid of that. I'm not 100% sure. SEO news. Let's start with what we always start with, SEO news. Page speed update and what SEOs need to know. This is, of course, for a faster mobile experience. I've been saying for a while that I believe that Google's next major algorithm update will be in regards to page speed. And this is why. If you look through this article, this is on Search Engine Watch, you'll see some of the things that you should be doing to optimize your page for speed. So ensure that there's not more than one redirect. If you have SSL, chances are you already have that one redirect. Enable compression, aim for server response time of under 200 milliseconds, which is really hard to do, especially if you're using shared hosting. Implement a caching policy. So a lot of people, there was a conversation in the SEO Hackers community about which caching plugin to use for WordPress. So I don't remember the name of the one that was switched from. So there was one that somebody in the group was using, and they switched to W3 Cache, which is one of two that I use. Minify resources, optimize images, and there are plugins that do all of these things if you're using WordPress. Now, having a bunch of plugins also slows your site down, so be careful how many plugins you add, but keep above the full content under 148 kilobytes. That's interesting. Hadn't heard that one before, so I will have to take a look and see. So even on my site, if you go to my site, it shouldn't be too big for above the fold. I don't have big images. I don't have a lot of stuff. There is a slider with 3 slides, but it's not, you can see a small image, not a lot of, there's not a background image, so that shouldn't take too long, and the rest is text. This is code from an external source, so that might slow it down a little, but I don't think it's too big. And if I go, I'll check my other sites later. Removing all blocking JavaScript in the above the full content. JavaScript can kill your website, can kill your, won't kill your website, or it could, but it could also kill your SEO. If you have too much JavaScript, get rid of what you don't need. And be careful what you do have. So that, you know, that's a brief summary of what you should do to speed up your site. You're not, especially if you're on shared hosting, it's going to be difficult to do all of those things. What I recommend and what I will be discussing in a future episode is moving over to light sale on Amazon. It's worked for me in the websites that I have moved over so far. You know, it's a process to have to move over a website, especially if it's a big website. So I haven't done all of them yet, but we're getting there little by little. Google explains why singular and plurals rank differently. And this is something, the reason I chose this article, I don't think it's super important, but it's funny because, and this is on Search Engine Journal, by the way, I noticed the search volume for like lawyer versus lawyers, or just different plumber versus plumbers, is there's different search volume. And the reason that Google offers, John Mueller offers, is that is searcher's intent. Is the intent different for someone searching? In the example they use here is teddy bear versus teddy bears. So does the searcher have a different intent by using singular versus plural? So that's something to think about. And so what I do when I do keyword research is I figure out, first of all, does singular or plural make sense in the context of the web page? And secondly, which one has the higher search volume? So if they both make sense, which one has the higher search volume? And so that'll be the one that I would typically target. Remember in previous episodes, I told you that you can rank for high volume keywords. So if I search for lawyer locally, or just search for lawyer, you'll see, I mean, there's the news, but beyond that, this is a local lawyer. This is, where is it? There's more. There should be more. This is somewhat local. He's about 20 minutes away. Actually, I think you got one about 15 minutes away. You know, so there's 2 local lawyers on the first page. Normally there's more than this. I'm not sure why there's less today, but, and you also have this that we're going to talk about today. You can rank on the first page. If you don't believe you can rank on the first page for any keyword, you're mistaken, and your lawyer has a very high search volume. So if you can rank on the first page for something, then you go for it. It used to be believed that you couldn't, but you can. So with that being said, picking your singular or plural keyword, as long as it fits the context of the web page you're optimizing for, and choosing the one with the higher search volume, go for it. And then SEO the heck out of your site, out of your web page. And then finally, Google structured data. And the reason I'm bringing this up, there's been a lot of conversation about structured data. And the estimate is that less than 30% of all websites use it. So now Google launches Structured Data Code Lab. So essentially what they're going to do is help you write your structured data code. So Google has officially launched their Structured Data Code Lab, which allows you to walk through a step-by-step process to make your own structured data for your website. So what that's telling me is, as I've mentioned before, structured data is going to play a bigger role in your SEO moving forward. And I think with the rise of structured data, you'll see the fall of meta descriptions, meta tags, because they essentially do the same thing, but structured data, as you can see, is a little better structured depending on what the content of the page is. So you would do yourself a great service, because as I mentioned before, Google, the estimates are that less than 30% of all websites are using structured data. However, if you look at the first page of Google, I think it's 80 or 90% of all of the pages on the first page are using structured data. So you would do yourself a great service by implementing Google structured data. Now, if you're using WordPress and you're a do-it-yourselfer, I'll show you. Let me log. I'm already logged into another site, so let me go there. I use structured data on all of my sites now. This is one that's on shared hosting that's loading. So you can see I need to move it. And so some of the SEO plugins have structured data built in. I think All-in-One SEO does. I use WP WordPress SEO schema for my structured data. So if I go to a blog post, and if you look at this, I should have clicked that. Nope, that works. And I'll go down and you'll see structured data. So you can select article, blog posting. This is a review, so I filled in the review stuff. And this is the structured data that Google's looking for. So if you're using WordPress, WP WordPress SEO schema is the name of the plugin. Get it, and if you have, you know, on my business site, I have over 100 blog posts. So I'm going, you know, add it to the new ones, and then I'm going through the old ones in chronological order and updating those. So yes, it's time consuming, but I do believe that this is a signal again that you are going to need to implement this if you want to continue with moving forward from meta descriptions. That's my opinion. I haven't seen evidence that they're going to eventually do away with meta tags, or their relevancy, I should say, because you could still use meta keywords, but it's not relevant. Google doesn't care. Use them all you want. Google does not care. Doesn't count. Doesn't work for you or against you. This will help. Using your structured data on your website. So if you want to use the plugin, use it. If you want to go to CodeLab, if you're not using WordPress, or if you're doing, you know, if you hand coded your site, more power to you. I choose not to do that most of the time because it's just a lot more time consuming, but you can use Google Structured Data CodeLab. All right, this week's episode, we are here to talk about Google My Business. We'll close out some of these tabs. Don't need those. And so I'm going to use my Google My Business page. And here's what I'm going to show you. A lot has changed on Google My Business. So if you don't know, Google My Business is how you get your business to show up. You know what? Let me do this. Let's just do SEO. If I search SEO locally, there I am. So again, SEO. I always block everything, so don't pay any attention to that. Let's see what the search volume on SEO is. So if I go to Moz keyword tool, no, that's not what I want. We'll use that then. Yes, I think I've told you guys before, I use LastPass. Don't judge me. I can't remember passwords. Well, it's not that I can't remember. I choose to use more complex passwords now. All right. I think most of these accounts are inactive, but we'll check that later. Find keywords, and let's just do SEO. And search volume for SEO. This is for Meriden only, but search volume for SEO is 10 per month. Let's change this to, let's just change it to Connecticut. 5.5 million people that you could reach. And SEO gets 1,300 searches a month. So that's a pretty significant amount. If I were to change that to a national level, United States, almost 300 million. SEO gets, drum roll please, any day now. All right, we'll give Google a second to work. Maybe they're using shared hosting too. That's a joke. All right, here it is. So 110,000 searches per month, okay? And that's not including all the other stuff below it, but 110,000 searches per month. Connecticut gets, what did I say, 13,000, I believe. All right, so what does that tell me? That tells me, hey, I'm showing up here, and let's see if I show up here. I should. No, I don't. Not even 10 results here. No, I don't. But that's okay. So we'll start with this. All right. So this is Google My Business. And I could tell you, I think this company isn't even real. What kind of company opens at 5:30 at night? Yeah, see shop.com. It's not a real. So I show up here. Now, Google My Business, Google Maps, Google 3-Pack, whatever you want to call it, does base it on location, okay? But I'm sure that I show up, outside of my immediate location. I'm not sure there is anybody else in Meriden that does what I do. If you go to google.com/mybusiness and log in, if you don't already have a business page, you're going to need to create one. I'm going to go on the assumption that if you're watching this, you probably already have a page. So I'm going to go over the things you can do through here, some things that you weren't aware of before. First of all, you can see your reviews and manage them, reply to them, whatever. I did not reply to mine, but so you can see your reviews and reply to them from here. Go back home. Let's just go through this list on the left. So the reviews isn't really new. You can start an ad campaign. I would not recommend running an ad campaign from Google My Business. I know some people do. I would not. You can get a lot more features going to the Google AdWords platform. You get a lot more features, a lot more customization, and a lot more ability to control your ads. Not so much here, okay? Post is a new feature, and I'm going to show you. This is a post. So essentially, you can create an offer for, so you see create an offer post. I don't know why it says try it now because I already have one running. And they'll see this when they search for your business. I believe, let's go here. I think it shows up. It's not here. I think it only shows up on mobile. Oh no. Okay. Maybe it's expired. Yeah, it looks like it might be expired. Let's check that out. Let me move this thing that you can't even see. Edit. Start August 30th. Okay, so it did expire. And we're going to make it run now. But I don't want to end it. Let's go to the end of the year. Okay. I guess the title is required now. I just knocked down my microphone. Give me a moment, everyone. Okay. It's not cooperating. All right, that'll have to do for now. Event title, free audit, free, let's do it like this. Free 60-second audit. No, that's not good. Free digital assessment of your website or blog. Okay. So publish that. I don't need a time. It runs all the time. And that's a post. And that will get people clicking through to your business, to your website. Okay. This is one of the features that a lot of people are not aware of that's out there now that you should really take advantage of, especially since your competition is probably not aware of it. It will help tremendously in your own SEO, your local SEO. All right. So if you don't know, Google My Business is really important for local SEO. If you're not utilizing it, it's probably the single most important factor. As a matter of fact, I was just asked on a roundup. So a roundup means somebody creating a blog post of certain topic and they're asking multiple experts in that field. So there's a roundup going on right now for what is the most important factors of local SEO. And I stated two. One of them was Google My Business. For the other one, you'll have to wait for the roundup to come out. All right, info. So this is going to be your business info, your hours. If you have special hours, I believe that would be holidays and so forth. Website, and look at that, I found a problem. So not really a big deal, but I used to have an appointment URL. I took it down. Services, which honestly I should be taking advantage of, and oh, I do have it. Okay. So you can see you can list your services, very similar to, every time I do this with you guys, I get a call. Very similar to, let me close that. To a menu. So it used to be just for restaurants. Restaurants would add a menu, but now it's a services type listing. So you can add your services, or if you are a restaurant, you add your menu. Business description, which should be there, which is interesting that I don't have that. Opening date, photos you can add. If you are doing ads from here, you add that information. You can view your listing on Google Maps and Google Search, what it would look like. This information here is probably the most important, your NAP. So the name, the address, and the phone number. And then hours of operation and a web address are also important. This information should match all of your other listings across the internet. And I have a blog post on my site about that, about NAP. So check that out. That's an important factor in your local SEO, because Google does check against other listings to see if there are any discrepancies in what they are that could impact your local SEO. Insights will show you your analytics. Data improvements underway, so we have to wait. How many phone calls I've received. People don't typically call, they typically send me an email or fill out a form on the website. Your analytics and so keep in mind, this is local traffic. This is not, somebody in Texas isn't searching for an SEO in Meriden. This is all local traffic. Reviews, we've talked about already. Messaging is a really cool feature that a lot of people are not aware exists. You can set it up so that when somebody searches on mobile and your listing pops up, that you can message directly to the business from your mobile phone. So like text messaging. And then the business can reply back. Similar to Facebook Messenger on Facebook pages, okay? So this is a really cool feature I've set up for all of my clients, and be aware that it is out there. So if I search on mobile, I'll be able to send a message to the business. Make sure you set up with a phone number that can reply via text message. If you have photos you want to add, I don't utilize photos as much as I should, but you should add photos and videos. I do have videos. You can connect this to your YouTube channel. The website info. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not website info. This is the Google and it's interesting because it's already added. This is old. I'm not a digital marketing agency. I'm not even sure where it got that information from. Must get it from, okay. It must get it from my old Google business page, Google Plus business page. So you could create a one-page website that it shouldn't have any impact on SEO at this point, is what they've said. Let me see. Okay, I can change that. So let's do that because now that's got me bothered. Yeah, so I'll update this later. But you can create a one-page website on Google My Business, and their target audience is not necessarily people that already have websites. Their target audience is a small business that can't afford to put up a website right now and doesn't have another alternative. I don't know that these will rank. I mean, obviously Google has the upper hand because they control Google. Will they make these rank higher? I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because there would be a huge backlash from other website owners, which is, let's face it, I don't know, maybe at least millions, in the hundreds of millions, I'm sure. You can add users to your account. Okay, I don't have any users on my account, but I manage other accounts. But probably the two most important updates, and let me go to the blog post I wrote about this not too long ago. Blog. Voice search. Okay, apparently. Okay, here it is. So, okay, this was actually one I repurposed. Okay, so the menu option for all businesses. This was a quick one. Setup, text messaging. We talked about the Google My Business page. So that's the post for your services, like deals and stuff. Because all my clients are customized. Oh, the booking button. I didn't see that in there. Because my clients have different needs, I can't offer a special really. I could say 10% off, but what is 10% off? You don't really know. And then questions and answers, and I'll get to that in a moment. You don't really know what is available to begin with. Book now. I didn't see that. There was an option just to set up Google My Business with a booking application. You can do Google virtual tours. You could set that up. And I don't see it now. I don't know what happened to my description. I did have a description. So this is interesting. There used to be a way. It looks like they got rid of it. There was a booking option that you could connect to different booking platforms on. I think I did see it actually. Manage locations. Boom, boom. Oh, by the way, you can manage multiple, as many locations as you want now. So posts, let's go info. Maybe it was there. Yeah, I did mention it. Okay. Appointment URL. Yes, so you can do it. I don't know. I thought I did have that and I took it down. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. You can add an option to connect a calendar for booking. So there's tons of applications out there. And I thought I did set that up actually, but maybe not. And so what'll happen is they get to your listing, they're able to select book now. And there are tons of applications out there. So appointment, I think there's one called Appointly or something like that. I don't know why Google just doesn't do it through their own system, but appointment apps. Let's see if I see one I'm familiar with. Point Fix apparently is one. Okay. Point Fix, Simply Book, Calendly is one I know of. Okay, so, and this one I know too. So you can use one of these applications, and I think Calendly has a free option pricing. Yeah, $0 for basic, and then $8 a month for a premium, which really isn't that bad. And then they can schedule time with you via your Google My Business listing. All right, so it's not there. I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, these are the updates that that a lot of people are not taking advantage of, including myself, apparently, on your Google My Business page. And questions and answers. So let's talk about that. I'm also a Google reviewer, meaning that when I visit a business, I'll get prompted to answer questions. Not a reviewer, or I answer questions. I forget what they call it. I'll answer questions for people that have been there before that might have questions, and some of the questions come from Google themselves. So there'll be questions like, is it handicap accessible? Is this a kid-friendly place? And so forth. I answer those questions, but people can also ask questions. And what ends up happening is somebody might ask your business a question. Let me see if it shows up here, Scott Gombar. Somebody might ask the business a question, and you don't see, ask question. So I might ask a question, do you provide dog walking services, right? If I don't address that, if I don't know that it's there, somebody else might answer it for me, for the business, and it might not be the right answer. So it's kind of important to pay attention to it. And unfortunately, Google does not make that easy to do. You can't do that from inside here. You can see the reviews. You cannot see the questions and answers because it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be kind of community-based question and answering. Maybe they got that from Quora. I'm not sure. Maybe they got that idea from Quora. But if you're not paying attention, so let's see if there's any question. Is there a parking lot or a structure? Sort of. Okay, that's the only question. Oh, is there a wheelchair accessible entrance? No. So these are generic questions, but I can ask a question. So, you know, what time does this place close? Okay, and I don't know how this is going to work because so posted to the community. You see that? And be the first to ask a question. No, it doesn't want me to answer questions. But somebody else will get, here we go. Okay, see how that works? There's no way to monitor it. I believe there are third-party systems out there that can monitor it, but there's no way for you to monitor it within Google My Business. So you will have to go to your listing and look for questions that may be asked of your business. it's important because somebody else might provide wrong information, and that could be a bad thing for the business. Also, what's important is I could, instead of asking a question, I could just make random comments about the business, and that might not be a good thing either. So you do have to pay attention to that. Not available in the Google My Business listing. It is available if you just go, what did I just do? Oh, no, I don't want that. It is available if you go to the Google listing within Google, okay? And you don't have to own the listing to ask and answer questions. So that's important. So that's a quick, well, let's do this. Let's go to posts. I'm going to create one post for you. Kind of did it already. Try it now. So you add a picture, you name it, you give it a price if there is a price. If there's a price range, you would add that, product details, and add a button. So this is a great feature. I can add, if I'm a salon, I could add a special. If I'm a restaurant, I can add a special. If I deliver food, or all these delivery services now, I could add that, and people could click on it and order right from here. So this could, I believe, will tie into, Uber delivery and so forth. And then if I go to messaging, you'll want to set this up. Turn it on, put in a phone number that you can receive text messages on. All right, these are important things. And as you can see, like if I need to put in a description, let me go ahead and do that. I'll just take something from my website. Let's see if it'll let me add all this. So info. So, I mean, this brings up another good point. You're going to want to check your listings often and make sure that it is up to date. And maybe it's under home. Add description. Here we go. Pending review. So I added the description. Let's go back home and see if I'm on 100% here. And that's part of SEO. So, that'll help you rank. Looks like I'm 100%. I don't see anything that says I'm not. That'll help you rank higher on Google business listings. You can have as many locations as you want. I believe there is an easier way to upload if you have more than 10 locations, but you can add as many locations as you want. And the Google My Business account, I think it's called Google My Business Manager. I don't know. They changed the name of it, but you can have as many listings as you want now. It used to be limited to 100, I believe. It's now as many as you want. So that's Google My Business. That is a critical part of your local SEO. I cannot stress how important it is to have your local SEO have this included in your local SEO plan. If you don't include this, you're doing your business a great disservice, because as you can see, if I search, let's do local SEO and see what happens. And here I am. This is different. Old Farm, never heard of them, but so you'll want to make sure that your listing is up to date, because you might be missing out on opportunities by not doing so. All right, so that's Scott Gombar. This is the end of SEO Hackerz podcast episode 5, the Google My Business review, the updates to Google My Business. This is a follow-up to my blog post, which was from March of this year, how to 6 ways to optimize your Google My Business page. This was a repurposed blog post, and I have a missing image, but this is a repurposed blog post from previous, I wrote this originally. I don't know when I originally wrote it. I usually add that too. The point of me saying that is Google My Business updates all the time. And obviously they're trying to keep up with the changes that Facebook might make or other social media platforms might make. So Facebook is a big player in the local SEO food chain. So Google has to stay with the times. Quora plays a part. So here they are asking questions and answers from the community, not from the business, but from the community. So check that out on my website. You can grab the URL here. I'll include it in the show notes. And make sure you optimize your Google My Business page. That should be the first step in your local SEO plan. The very first step. Before you do anything else, do that. The second step, by the way, should be Bing Places. So make sure you go to Bing Places and set that up. All right, until next week, this has been SEO Hackerz episode 5. You can find me at scottgombar.com. That's SCOTTGOMBAR.com. Join the SEO Hackerz community at SEOHackerz.com. Or if you want to follow me, most of my social media is Scott Gombar. Pinterest is Scott Gombar SEO. Facebook is Scott Gombar LLC. Until next week, I should be able to do it on time next week. Until next week, I will, we have, don't forget 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights, we do SEO Hackerz live after dark from the Facebook community. So if you're not in the Facebook community, you're not going to see it. And it's a live Q&A. And sometimes we take apart websites while we're on there. So make sure you join the community so you can take part in that. Until then, until next week, have a great one. And remember, SEO is for the people.